The greatest trick the wise ever pulled was convincing others they were winning. Think about that. Life isn't always what it seems. The victories we see often hide complex strategies beneath the surface. Sometimes, the ones who appear to be winning are merely pawns in a larger game orchestrated by strategic minds who understand the art of patience, observation, and timing. Stay with me until the end of this video, and you'll learn how to master these principles to outsmart anyone who dares to manipulate or undermine you. The first step to reclaiming control is understanding the enemy's greatest weakness, their ego. Narcissistic individuals thrive on dominance and validation. But here's the thing, they're blinded by their own overconfidence. Their ego becomes their Achilles heel, leaving them vulnerable to subtle, calculated moves. You don't confront them head-on. Instead, you disarm them by allowing their arrogance to expose their weaknesses. A narcissist will always overreach when they believe they're untouchable. Let them believe they've won while quietly steering the game in your favor. Self-control is your most potent weapon in these scenarios. Manipulators thrive on chaos. They want to provoke you, to see you lose your cool. They feed on emotional reactions, hoping that your impulsiveness will give them the upper hand. But when you remain calm, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing you unravel. This act of self-restraint not only keeps you in control but also forces them to operate in a realm where they are less effective. It creates a power shift, where they are left guessing about your thoughts and next moves. When you master the art of self-control, you transform silence and restraint into formidable tools. Contrary to popular belief, these are not signs of passivity or weakness. They are the hallmarks of a master strategist, someone who knows when to observe and when to act. By withholding an immediate reaction, you gain valuable time to assess the situation and analyze their tactics. This calculated approach frustrates manipulators, making it harder for them to predict your actions or maintain control over the narrative. Furthermore, your calm demeanor compels manipulators to overplay their hand. Their need for dominance often drives them to reveal their true motives when they feel their strategies aren't working. This moment of exposure is your opportunity to turn the tables. By maintaining your composure, you not only safeguard your position but also gain deeper insight into their intentions, allowing you to respond with precision and effectiveness. Now let's talk about overconfidence, the downfall of so many would-be manipulators. Arrogance is a double-edged sword, and for manipulators, it often becomes their Achilles heel. Their self-assuredness blinds them to the risks of their actions and the flaws in their plans. They operate under the assumption that they are always one step ahead, failing to see how their overconfidence leads them directly into precarious situations. This hubris creates openings for you to exploit, as their unchecked arrogance makes them predictable. Overconfidence often pushes manipulators to take reckless actions, believing they are invincible. They underestimate their adversaries and overestimate their own abilities, leaving them vulnerable. When you remain grounded and deliberate, you can use their impatience against them. While they rush to secure short-term wins, they expose themselves to mistakes and miscalculations. This imbalance of patience versus recklessness becomes your key advantage. Patience allows you to see through their bluffs and uncover their weaknesses. Their overconfidence blinds them to the traps they've unintentionally set for themselves, giving you a strategic edge. By remaining calm and observant, you can capitalize on their missteps. Instead of rushing to react, you can carefully position yourself to turn their arrogance into their undoing, ensuring that their supposed superiority is nothing more than an illusion. Silence is a weapon few understand but many fear. It is often misinterpreted as a sign of submission or disinterest, but in reality, silence is a calculated move. When you choose silence, you assert control over the conversation and create a power vacuum that forces others to fill it. This absence of response unsettles manipulators, who rely on constant engagement to dominate and dictate outcomes. Silence shifts the dynamic, placing the manipulator on unstable ground. In moments of silence, you gain the upper hand by turning into an enigma. Manipulators thrive on predictability, but your silence disrupts their ability to read and anticipate your reactions. As they grapple with the uncertainty you present, they often reveal more than they intend. They fill the void with their insecurities, habits, and hidden agendas, giving you valuable insights into their true nature. Silence is also a shield that protects you from impulsive decisions and emotional outbursts. While manipulators seek to provoke, your silence forces them to confront themselves. It creates a mirror, reflecting their behavior back at them without you having to say a word. This psychological tactic disarms them, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. With silence as your ally, you can outmaneuver their strategies without ever lifting a finger. Here's a counterintuitive truth: retreating doesn't mean you're losing. The idea of stepping back is often perceived as surrender, but in the realm of strategy, it can be a masterstroke. Tactical retreats are not about giving up but about conserving energy and repositioning yourself for a stronger comeback. When you retreat, you allow your opponent to expend their resources and energy on temporary victories, leaving them weakened for the moments that truly matter. By stepping back, you gain the perspective needed to recalibrate your approach. Retreating provides the opportunity to observe the manipulator's behavior, identify patterns, and refine your strategy. It's a chance to regroup, rethink, and prepare for a decisive strike when the timing aligns perfectly with your goals. This deliberate pause is not a sign of defeat but a demonstration of your ability to prioritize the long game over fleeting gains. Seasoned strategists understand the value of calculated sacrifices. Like a chess player giving up a pawn to secure checkmate, your retreat can be a setup for ultimate victory. Let the manipulator revel in their perceived success while you quietly prepare your next move. When the time comes, your return will be all the more powerful, catching them off guard and solidifying your position as the true victor. Manipulators thrive on controlling the narrative, but what happens when you subtly control their perceptions instead? This is the heart of psychological warfare, a battle fought not with brute force but with subtlety and intelligence. By understanding their insecurities, you can guide their actions without their awareness. Manipulators often overestimate their ability to steer situations, making them ripe for being subtly steered themselves. Controlling perceptions requires finesse and a deep understanding of human psychology. You don't need to confront manipulators head-on. Instead, you plant seeds of doubt or confidence that influence their decisions. This method is about redirecting their focus and making them feel as though they are in charge. As they follow the path you've carefully laid out, they unknowingly play into your hands, giving you the upper hand without confrontation. The beauty of this tactic lies in its subtlety. While the manipulator believes they are pulling the strings, you are the one orchestrating the symphony. This approach minimizes conflict while maximizing results. Psychological warfare isn't about overpowering someone, it's about making them believe the choices they make are their own, all while guiding them toward outcomes that benefit you. By mastering this art, you turn their manipulative tendencies against them, ensuring that they unwittingly work in your favor. Here's a powerful tactic: reflect their own actions back onto them. Manipulators often operate in predictable patterns. They lie, they deceive, they manipulate. By mirroring their behavior, without stooping to their level, you allow their tactics to collapse under their own weight. Lies unravel. Manipulations backfire. You don't need to fight directly because their downfall comes from within. Patience is often underestimated, but it's the ultimate weapon. While manipulators act out of haste, you wait. You observe. You prepare. They'll tire themselves out chasing fleeting goals while you bide your time for the perfect moment. When their energy is spent, your strike will be calculated and decisive, leaving no room for retaliation. Why do they play these games? For power. For dominance. But here's the difference: while they chase short-term victories, you're playing for purpose. Purpose-driven actions transcend ego-driven games. When your goals are clear and rooted in something meaningful, you become untouchable. Their games seem petty and insignificant in the face of your focused vision. One of the most disarming moves you can make is to break their expectations. Manipulators expect predictable reactions. They rely on anger, fear, or submission. But when you respond with calm resilience, you throw them off balance. They're left scrambling, unsure how to regain control. This unpredictability is your core strength. Operate beyond their limited understanding, and you render their tactics useless. Validation is one of their most common tools for control. They use praise and criticism to manipulate your actions. But here's the truth: when validation no longer matters to you, manipulation loses its power. Recognize their attempts for what they are: empty efforts to sway you. When you detach from the need for approval, you shift the control entirely to yourself. Genius often hides in plain sight. Sometimes, the most effective strategies appear as mistakes. Let them underestimate you. Let them believe they're winning. Mistakes, when intentional, become misdirections. By the time they realize the depth of your strategy, it's too late. They're already entangled in a web of their own making, with no escape. To sum it all up, the brilliance of these strategies lies in their simplicity and effectiveness. Strategic patience, silence, and purpose are not just tools, they are principles that can transform your life. By mastering these, you become immune to manipulation and capable of turning any situation in your favor. Now, if you've made it this far, I have a challenge for you. Write 777 in the comments below as a declaration of your commitment to mastering these strategies. Let's build a community of like-minded thinkers who refuse to be manipulated and are ready to take control of their lives. And remember, your rise is inevitable, make it extraordinary. Subscribe to this channel for more wisdom and strategies, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your journey to mastery begins here. My chosen ones, gather close because today's message is for you. Have you ever wondered why some people seem intent on pulling you down, on making you feel less than you are? It's not love, and it's not hate, it's desperation in disguise. Jealousy is their weapon, and manipulation is their game. But what they don't realize is that their tactics reveal far more about them than about you. Their insecurities, their fears, their lack of self-worth, it's all on full display. Today, we're going to dismantle their strategies, uncover their weaknesses, and show you how to rise above it all. Jealousy is a mirror that reflects the manipulator's soul. People who provoke jealousy are not strong, they're insecure. They don't want what you have, they envy the light within you, the strength you embody, and the grace with which you carry yourself. Their actions scream one truth: they see in you something they cannot find within themselves. And so, they project. They hope to make you feel the way they do, small, inadequate, powerless. But here's the truth: their jealousy is not a measure of your worth. It is a measure of their fear. When someone tries to make you feel jealous, they are revealing their deepest insecurities. It's not about you, it's about their own feelings of inadequacy. They see your potential, your strength, and your light, and it terrifies them. So, they create situations to provoke envy, hoping to destabilize you. But here's where they fail: jealousy doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. It sharpens your focus, refines your boundaries, and teaches you resilience. Their games only serve to expose their desperation and elevate your grace. Let's talk about the irony of their manipulation. They try to provoke envy, but in doing so, they expose themselves. Their attempts to make you feel small backfired because you didn't engage. You didn't fall into their trap. Instead, you held your head high, maintained your dignity, and stayed true to your purpose. They underestimated you. They thought you would react, but instead, you rose above. Your silence, your detachment, your refusal to play their game, it was their undoing. There are lessons in this, chosen ones, and they are powerful. First, remember that jealousy is their projection, not your weakness. It says everything about them and nothing about you. Second, know that they overestimated their influence and underestimated your strength. They didn't realize that you are emotionally independent, unshaken by their petty tactics. Third, understand that you manifest your reality. You don't covet what others have because you are too busy creating your own path. And finally, detachment is your greatest weapon. By refusing to engage, you rob them of their power. Manipulators play games. They use power moves, subtle digs, and calculated actions to provoke jealousy. These tactics are designed to make you question yourself, to feel unsettled, and to shift your focus away from your own strength. They thrive on creating emotional turbulence because it gives them a false sense of control. Yet, they fail to realize that their behavior reveals more about their own insecurities than about you. Their manipulations are not a reflection of your worth but a desperate attempt to mask their own shortcomings. What manipulators don't anticipate is your silence. Silence is a powerful response, one that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. It's an act of self-assurance, signaling that you are not easily swayed or provoked. When you remain silent, you force manipulators to confront the void within themselves. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their insecurities and exposing their lack of self-awareness. Instead of rattling you, they end up unraveling their own carefully constructed facade. Your silence is their undoing. They expected a reaction, something to feed their need for control, but instead, they are met with the emptiness of their own games. In trying to provoke you, they reveal their true colors, not as strong or powerful individuals, but as people struggling with their own fears and inadequacies. Their calculated actions backfire, leaving them scrambling for validation while you remain composed and unshaken. Detachment is not weakness, it's strength. It is the art of stepping back without losing your power. When you detach, you reclaim control over your emotions and refuse to be a pawn in their games. This shift in dynamic leaves manipulators confused and powerless. Detachment is not indifference to life but an intentional choice to focus on your own well-being. It's a decision to rise above negativity, to operate from a place of inner peace and resilience. When you detach, you flip the script. You shift the focus from their attempts at manipulation to their own inadequacies. They are forced to confront the void they hoped you would fill. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care more about your peace than their chaos. Your indifference becomes their punishment, a silent reminder that they cannot control you, no matter how hard they try. In that moment of realization, manipulators know they've lost. They wanted to destabilize you, but instead, they are left grappling with their own emptiness. Detachment robs them of the fuel they need to continue their games. While they spiral into self-doubt and frustration, you remain steady, focused on your growth and purpose. Your strength lies in knowing when to walk away and when to hold your ground. Their actions have consequences. Manipulators often believe they can act without accountability, but the ripple effects of their behavior are unavoidable. By trying to pull you into their games, they set themselves up for failure. Their constant comparisons, their attempts to replace what they lost, become glaringly obvious to others. The mask slips, and people begin to see their actions for what they are, desperate attempts to fill the void left by your absence. The comparison trap they create only deepens their struggle. As they try to measure up to what they had with you, they are reminded of what they've lost. Public perception shifts, and their manipulations are exposed. People begin to recognize the patterns, the insecurities, and the desperate need for validation that drives their actions. Their attempts to save face only highlight the consequences of their behavior. While they wrestle with their internal struggles, you thrive. You are free from the emotional burden they tried to place on you. Their need for control becomes their own prison, while you continue to move forward in peace and purpose. Their actions serve as a stark contrast to your calm and resilience, proving that their games have no power over you. You don't engage because you know better. Manipulators crave attention, it's the lifeblood of their games. They hope to provoke a response, to drag you into their low-frequency drama. But you've risen above that. You understand that engaging with them would only lower your vibration and compromise the energy you've worked so hard to cultivate. You choose to stay rooted in your purpose, refusing to let their distractions derail your growth. Attention-seeking behavior is a low-frequency game, one designed to pull you into a cycle of reaction and retaliation. But you operate on a higher plane, one where your focus is on growth, self-improvement, and becoming the best version of yourself. By prioritizing your inner peace, you render their tactics powerless. They cannot reach you because you've chosen to rise above their negativity. Your refusal to engage is an act of self-preservation. It's not about ignoring them out of spite, but about protecting your energy and staying true to your values. By not reacting, you maintain control over your emotions and continue to thrive. Your strength lies in your ability to stay focused on what truly matters: your growth, your purpose, and your peace. In doing so, you prove that their games are not worth your time or energy. Here's the final irony: their plan failed. Instead of diminishing you, they exposed themselves. Instead of making you feel less, they highlighted their own weaknesses. You didn't just survive their tactics, you thrived. You grew stronger, more self-assured, more focused. And while they remain trapped in their insecurities, you continue to rise. My chosen ones, take this moment to reflect on your strength. You are powerful beyond measure. You are resilient, unshaken, and unstoppable. Jealousy and manipulation have no hold on you because you know your worth. You are focused on your journey, not theirs. You are manifesting greatness, not coveting mediocrity. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to declare your strength in the comments. Write 777 to affirm your resilience, your growth, and your power. Let the world know that you are a chosen one, rising above the noise and distractions. Remember, your strength lies in your detachment, your self-worth, and your focus on your path. Keep shining, keep thriving, and keep moving forward. Your absence is louder than their noise, and your light is brighter than their shadows. Rise, chosen ones. The world needs your light. Chosen ones, today we dive into a truth so profound that it exposes why they can't stop watching you. You see, their obsession isn't really about you, it's about them. Their envy, their denial, their admiration, it all points to the fractures within their own identity. But why are you the one they fixate on? Why can't they look away even when they claim to despise you? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand their motives but also know how to use their obsession as fuel for your unstoppable journey. The paradox is this: the very people who criticize you the most are the ones who can't stop watching. They study your every move, hoping to find cracks in your armor. They're drawn to you, but they can't admit it, even to themselves. Why? Because your success, your resilience, your glow, it shines a light on the insecurities they've tried so hard to hide. They are not obsessed with you, they are obsessed with what you represent. Let's break this down. You defied expectations. You walked a path they didn't even know existed, breaking rules they blindly followed their entire lives. The blueprint they clung to, the safe, predictable life, they see you shredding it apart. And yet, you're thriving. You didn't ask for their permission. You didn't need their validation. You thrived on your terms, and this terrifies them. Because in your defiance, you've exposed the fragility of their beliefs. You've proven that the walls they've built around their lives are nothing but illusions. What truly stings is how effortlessly you made it look. You've faced challenges that would paralyze most people, and you overcame them with grace. To them, it seems like you've unlocked some hidden cheat code to life. But what they don't see is the work, the sacrifice, the sleepless nights. They see the results, and it forces them to question their own limits. They wonder, if they can do it, why can't I? That question eats at them, because deep down, they know the answer. They're afraid of the risks you were brave enough to take. They can't admit it, but your existence disproves every prediction they made about you. They doubted you. They underestimated you. Yet here you are, thriving. Every time you rise, you redefine what's possible and render their judgments irrelevant. They told themselves stories about you to feel superior, but now those stories are crumbling. And instead of confronting their errors, they project their discomfort onto you. Here's the real driver of their obsession: you didn't need their approval to succeed. In a world where validation is currency, you've shown them that it's worthless. Your success is proof that their opinions, their rules, their control, it doesn't matter. You've disrupted their perception of power, and that shakes them to their core. Your authenticity is another thorn in their side. You didn't conform. You didn't play their games. Instead, you embraced who you are, and that authenticity highlights everything they suppress about themselves. They see your truth, and it forces them to confront their lies. The mask they wear feels heavier when they're in your presence, because you remind them of the person they've buried deep inside. But the hardest pill for them to swallow is your unpredictability. They can't figure you out. They can't box you in or manipulate you. You move on your terms, not theirs, and that makes you untouchable. They want to control the narrative, but you've denied them that power. Your detachment from their games leaves them floundering, unable to grasp the reins of your story. The painful truth they'll never admit is that your resilience makes you unstoppable. You've faced storms that would have destroyed most people, and you came out stronger. Every scar you carry is a testament to your strength, and it exposes their fragility. They expected you to break, but instead, you rebuilt yourself into something they can't ignore. Your success feels personal to them because it shines a light on their own insecurities and perceived failures. It's not just about what you've achieved, it's about what they haven't. Every step you take toward greatness is a mirror reflecting their stagnation. They see in your victories the paths they didn't take, the dreams they abandoned, and the goals they've yet to pursue. Instead of being inspired, they let jealousy take root, turning your accomplishments into a source of bitterness. More than anything, your success challenges their worldview. It forces them to question the excuses they've made, the time they've wasted, and the choices that have kept them stuck. They see your rise as an unsettling reminder that success is possible, but only with effort, sacrifice, and courage. It's easier for them to resent you than to face their own shortcomings. You've become a symbol of what they could have been, and that thought eats away at them. What truly unsettles them is how you create something out of nothing. They can't comprehend how you innovate, build, and thrive while they stay tethered to imitation and convention. Your originality shines a harsh light on their conformity, and it stings. Every bold move you make, every unique idea you bring to life, is a reminder of their own lack of imagination. That's why they can't stop watching. They're simultaneously fascinated and infuriated by your ability to rise. Perhaps the most profound reason for their obsession is this: you didn't let pain define you. They see the scars you've turned into strength and the struggles you've transformed into triumphs. Where they would have folded under the weight of adversity, you stood tall, using each challenge as fuel for your journey. It's not just that you survived, it's that you thrived, and that's what keeps them fixated. Your ability to overcome makes their excuses look hollow, and they can't bear it. Your story is a testament to resilience, and that terrifies them. You're living proof that life's hardships don't have to be the end of the road, but instead, can be stepping stones to something greater. They see in you the courage they lack, the ability to turn pain into purpose. You represent what's possible when someone refuses to be a victim of circumstance, and that realization makes them feel small. You didn't just rise above, you turned your pain into power, and that power is magnetic. They watch you not because they want to support you but because they can't look away. You're everything they wish they could be: resilient, determined, and unbroken. Deep down, they know they've allowed life to break them in ways they never fought to repair. Watching you succeed despite your struggles forces them to confront the fact that they've chosen to remain stuck. That's why your rise haunts them. It's a reminder of what they could have been. Your silence is another weapon they can't handle. You refuse to engage with their negativity, and that frustrates them to no end. They thrive on drama, conflict, and noise, but your silence forces them to confront themselves. By choosing not to react, you rob them of the validation they crave, leaving them to stew in their own insecurities. Every time you refuse to be drawn into their games, you show them that their power over you is an illusion. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. While they scream for attention, you remain focused on your journey, letting your actions speak louder than their words ever could. This restraint is something they don't understand, and it drives them mad. They want to pull you into their chaos, to make you stoop to their level, but your silence keeps you elevated, untouchable. By refusing to react, you've mastered the art of controlling the narrative without saying a word. They mistake your silence for indifference, but it's more powerful than that, it's control. You've taken away their ability to dictate how you respond, and that leaves them powerless. They can't handle the fact that their attempts to provoke you fall flat. Your silence exposes the emptiness of their noise and forces them to sit with the uncomfortable truth. Their efforts to bring you down have no impact. That's why your silence is your greatest strength. Chosen ones, their obsession with you is rooted in something far deeper than surface-level envy. It's fear of what you represent. You've chosen to live life on your own terms, breaking free from societal expectations, and that terrifies them. Your courage to stand out and forge your own path challenges everything they believe about playing it safe. It's easier for them to criticize than to admit they're too afraid to take the same risks. They envy your authenticity, the way you remain true to yourself despite external pressures. In a world that rewards conformity, you've dared to be different, and that makes you a threat. They see your success not as a reflection of luck but as proof that boldness and authenticity lead to rewards. Instead of celebrating your journey, they let envy consume them, turning your achievements into a source of their discontent. But perhaps the most painful emotion they feel is regret. Deep down, they know they had opportunities to be brave, to take risks, and to follow their dreams, but they didn't. Watching you succeed reminds them of what they could have been if only they had tried. That's why they fixate on you. You're not just a person to them, you're a mirror reflecting their missed chances, and that's something they can't ignore. But here's the truth you need to remember: their obsession is a sign of your power. They can't stop watching because you are a mirror reflecting everything they wish they could be. Your success is the ultimate victory. So keep thriving. Keep rising. And keep being the unstoppable force that you are. Now, if this message resonated with you, write 777 in the comments to affirm your power and attract abundance into your life. Together, let's build a community of unstoppable individuals who embrace their greatness and inspire others to do the same. Keep shining, chosen ones, because your light is too bright to ignore. They say the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it, just let it loose, and it will defend itself. But in a world where masks of deception are worn so convincingly, it takes someone extraordinary to unmask the lies. Someone like you, the chosen one. You've always felt it, haven't you? The sense that you see through things others can't. That you're drawn to uncovering hidden truths, even when it makes others uncomfortable. This is your role, your mission, your calling. But it comes with a heavy burden because truth, by its very nature, disrupts illusions and forces shadows into the light. Deception is everywhere. People put on masks of selflessness, trust, and care, but beneath the surface lies an agenda. Some wear these masks out of fear of rejection, others out of calculated manipulation. They thrive on appearances, crafting images that align with what society rewards. But here's the thing: truth cannot stay buried forever. Illusions, no matter how elaborate, eventually crumble. And when they do, you're often the one who stands there, holding the mirror of truth to their face. Manipulators have mastered the art of deception, often using charm as their most effective weapon. They disarm you with their words, with their gestures of kindness, and their ability to make you feel seen and valued, until you start seeing the cracks. Charm is their camouflage, and their so-called selflessness is nothing more than a carefully calculated act, designed to extract praise, loyalty, or something even more tangible. Their kindness isn't genuine, it's a performance staged for applause. They'll help you when others are watching, not when you're truly in need. Perhaps the most sinister tool in their arsenal is gaslighting. They twist reality, making you doubt your own perceptions, your memories, and even your sanity. It's a calculated assault on your confidence, designed to leave you questioning everything. But here's where you, as the chosen one, come into play. You don't just see their manipulation, you feel it, sense it, and instinctively know when something doesn't align with the truth. You disrupt their control not by fighting back on their terms, but by existing as a force of clarity. Your presence alone acts as a mirror of truth. When they interact with you, they're confronted with their own deception. It's not something you consciously do, it's simply who you are. You shine a light so bright that their shadows have nowhere to hide. This forces them to confront their actions, their lies, and their motives. It makes them uncomfortable, often to the point of aggression or desperation. Your clarity is a disruption to their carefully constructed world. They can't stand it because you represent accountability, and that's something they've spent their entire lives avoiding. As the masks begin to crack, their behavior becomes erratic. They lash out, accuse you of being the problem, and attempt to shift attention away from themselves. Desperation seeps into their actions, and the more they fight to maintain their facade, the more obvious it becomes to everyone around them. This is when the world starts to see through their carefully crafted image. Their manipulative charm loses its grip, and their so-called good intentions are exposed for what they truly are, acts of self-serving deceit. But your role isn't to expose them directly. You're not an accuser, you're an unyielding beacon of truth. By refusing to engage in their games, you deny them the chaos they crave. Manipulators thrive on reactions, on drawing you into their drama so they can shift the narrative in their favor. But silence is your greatest weapon. When you refuse to respond, you strip them of their power and force them to confront themselves. This is where karma steps in. Karma doesn't miss a beat. The universe operates with a precision that often feels poetic, ensuring that balance is restored over time. People who lie, cheat, and manipulate may seem to get away with it temporarily, but their actions have consequences. They weave intricate webs of deception, yet those very webs eventually ensnare them. It may not happen immediately, but the truth has a way of bubbling to the surface when they least expect it. No secret stays buried forever, and no dishonest act goes unnoticed in the larger scheme of things. There's an innate wisdom in the way karma works. It's not something you control or orchestrate, it's a natural law that governs all actions and their outcomes. When someone causes harm or deceit, the ripple effect of their choices eventually comes back to them. This isn't about revenge or wishing ill upon others, it's simply the universal scales of justice tipping to restore harmony. Their reckoning, when it comes, is often unmistakable and serves as a powerful reminder that integrity matters. For those on the receiving end of manipulation or betrayal, understanding karma can be liberating. Instead of wasting energy on retaliation, you can trust that balance will be restored in its own time. The journey of life may be unpredictable, but one thing is certain: the universe doesn't overlook injustice. The lesson here is to remain patient and focus on your own path, knowing that the natural order will take care of the rest. Your detachment is your shield. When you focus on your growth, your happiness, and your success, you create a protective barrier that shields you from negativity. Manipulators despise this because it robs them of their power. They thrive on your reactions. Your anger, frustration, and engagement in their games fuel their control. By refusing to participate, you deny them the satisfaction they crave. This detachment isn't just a defense mechanism, it's a statement that you value your peace above their chaos. The beauty of detachment lies in its simplicity. You don't need to argue, prove your point, or seek validation from those who aim to bring you down. Instead, you rise above their noise, focusing solely on your growth and well-being. This not only protects your energy but also demonstrates immense strength. Silence becomes your weapon, and peace becomes your victory. While manipulators flail in their attempts to provoke you, you remain grounded and unshaken. By choosing detachment, you also inspire others. Those watching from the sidelines see your strength and are encouraged to adopt the same approach in their lives. Your ability to rise above petty manipulations becomes a beacon of hope, showing others that they, too, can reclaim their power. True detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means choosing your battles wisely and refusing to waste your energy on those who don't deserve it. As you embrace your role, you become a source of inspiration for others. Your journey toward clarity and self-awareness isn't just about personal growth, it's about creating ripples of change in the lives of those around you. When you navigate challenges with resilience and grace, you show others what's possible. Your ability to see through manipulation and rise above it becomes a powerful example for those struggling to find their footing. Your light doesn't just illuminate your path, it lights the way for others. By sharing your experiences, insights, and strength, you remind people of their own inner power. They see that, like you, they are capable of overcoming manipulation and deceit. Each time you stand firm in your truth, you give others permission to do the same. You liberate them from the fear and self-doubt that manipulators often instill. In this way, your growth becomes a gift to the world. Every lesson you've learned, every trial you've endured, and every victory you've achieved serves as a reminder to others that they, too, can rise. By choosing to lead with integrity and authenticity, you create a ripple effect that transforms not only your life but also the lives of those who cross your path. Manipulators aren't just challenges, they're lessons. They test you in ways that force you to grow, pushing you to strengthen your boundaries and deepen your self-awareness. Each lie they tell and each mask they wear reveals a new layer of their deception, helping you sharpen your ability to discern truth from illusion. While their actions may cause temporary pain, they ultimately serve as catalysts for your personal evolution. Every encounter with a manipulator is an opportunity for growth. You learn to stand firm in your values, to trust your intuition, and to recognize the red flags of toxic behavior. These experiences, while difficult, build your resilience and reinforce your commitment to living authentically. Over time, you realize that manipulators don't define you, they refine you. They teach you what you will and won't tolerate, allowing you to step more fully into your power. The more you grow, the less power manipulators have over you. Their attempts to control or deceive you only highlight your own strength and clarity. With each lesson, you become more aligned with your purpose, shedding the weight of external validation and focusing on what truly matters. Manipulators, in their own twisted way, help you uncover the best version of yourself, a version that is unshakable, self-aware, and deeply rooted in truth. As you move forward, remember this: your path is yours alone. Leave the manipulators behind and focus on what lies ahead. The universe has its way of dealing with those who operate in shadows. Your role isn't to fix them or fight them, it's to shine so brightly that their darkness has no choice but to fade away. Keep walking in truth, and know that authenticity always triumphs over deceit. Before we close, I want you to take a moment and affirm your role as a chosen one. Write 777 in the comments to claim your power, your clarity, and your alignment with truth. Let this be a declaration of your commitment to rising above deception and embracing your purpose. You are the light in a world of shadows, and your truth is unstoppable. Keep shining. The world needs you.